Actually, we are on air. We are on air, and we have unusually big and great, of course, panel here. Unusually, we almost on limit, on technical limit. Okay, guys, I know a couple of Randy Melange is already watching us, which is great. Okay, so I'll try to save some time because with so many, and it's not just spectators, all panelists, all experts. So I'll start. Okay, I'll start with William because well we actually we agree with William to do this show. I hope it will be show, not useful show. So William Rock from United States, from Kansas City. Okay, and let's go from left to right. It's easy. It's easy. Ben Fisher. I can just read it. Ben Fisher, steady demand. We've done conference with Ben. I think was very well, and Ben was very. I'm very glad, Ben, you take Williams off, and you here. Okay, and I really glad that you still have all this Japanese sauce behind. We have Eric Geller. I don't really know Eric very much personally, so William will help me, but it's easy. You can read on Team Eric Geller, Big Oak Incorporation. We have Karin Vichin here from California. And well, William, you have to help me as well with a couple of words. We have Max Minzer here. Same thing, William, to you. We have the one and only Michael Stryker here. We've done many things with Michael. We have very different experience with Michael, from absolutely great to little bit difficult, I remember. Okay, we have Spencer Wade here from Illinois. We have Tim Copper. Tim Copper is from United Kingdom. Well, it's still United Kingdom, isn't it? Scotland is still inside, so it's still United Kingdom. And William, if you can help me with to introduce other guys, I don't know very well.
Well, we've got Max. I think you had talked about Max Mister. He's basically he goes back as a local guide that oh boy, way back in the day with some of the top hangouts. But the whole lineup, guys. We've got some great experts here that know their niche, and I'm excited to really kind of dig into it. But I would like to actually have them introduce themselves one at a time, if that's okay, Anton. I mean, I could brag about them constantly, but you know, maybe a elevator speech would be perfect. I've got Ben Fisher on my first left side, so why don't we have Ben Fisher start with that one?
Sure, I'll be happy to. Thanks, William. Thanks, Anton. Hey, everybody. Awesome to get to hang out with you all. Myself, I'm the founder of Steady Demand. We're basically a social media and content marketing company with a focus on local, a Google My Business Rising Star, and also a local guide level 5. Just means a lot of work has been done there. So happy to be here and love helping people.
Let's go with Karen. Actually, no, I'm sorry. Eric first, and then Karen next.
Okay, I'm Eric Gaylor. I'm from Richmond, Virginia. Here at Big Oak, we are a premier Google partner. I'm also, personally, I'm a TC top contributor in web search and hold some other titles. So don't want to take up too much time trying to say all those titles. Next.
All right, Karen.
Hi, my name is Karen Chin, and I'm out here in San Francisco. I am a social media marketing consultant, and that's what I do for the daytime. In my nighttime, or our weekends, I am a local guide level 5 out here in the San Francisco Bay Area. I am also a community moderator within the San Francisco local guides, and I guess one of the things I wanted to mention is I am one of 1,300 level 5 guides who were selected, 75 in total, to be invited to the first annual local guide summit in Mountain View and San Francisco this September. So that in itself, I think, is an awesome experience because the guides are basically coming from all over the world with their experiences, from Africa to Southeast Asia to Europe to Latin America. So it's going to be a really awesome experience to meet local guides and talk about what their tribulations are in terms of getting businesses on the map.
Fantastic. I know you bring it. All right, Max. Max is next.
Hey, I'm Max Minzer. I'm owner of Reengage Consulting. Started on my own in SEO and digital marketing in general, and then now I have my own consultancy on my own, digital marketing, but specializing in local search in particular, working with mostly small businesses, 1 to up to 10 locations usually, and getting them visibility. And that's what I do, and I love it.
Rock star. That's awesome, Max. I appreciate that. Next we have Michael. You want to jump in there?
Yeah, sure. I'm Mike Stricker. You may have known me speaking for SEM Rush. That's how I met Anton. But in my past, I've developed websites for municipalities, historic tourism outfits, and such. And so I got deep into local SEO. Did it at the agency level. Know some of the struggles and some of the stories that occur because it just seems to be a fairly convoluted path for people to get their businesses on and start to gain the benefit that Google My Business and Google Local Maps can bring them. And even though Google's taken some hits recently in the press from Yelp and people complaining about visibility of Google items over their own, it's still just the best opportunity for people. I'm glad all these pros are here to tell people what they need to do.
Michael, thank you again for showing up with us and helping us out through this. Spencer, you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Hello, everybody. Thanks for the invite. My name is Spencer Wade. I'm a top contributor with the Google Web Search, Google AdWords, actually a mentor currently, hold other rising star titles. Run a partner agency, Lift Conversions, out of Chicago, Illinois. Work with the official city partner program with Get Your Business Online, where we have instant verifier access, and I'm a level 4 local guide, which started in the beta program. Great to be here.
Nice, level 4. Congratulations, that's awesome. You know, one of the cool things about local guides, we'll talk about that later, but I think there's a lot of folks out there doing that, and I've met a lot of great level 5s as level 4s, even level 1s and 2s. So thanks for doing the program. We've got Tim. Tim, please introduce yourself. Sorry, I was getting some noise on the back end.
Okay, I'll keep this short because I'm the last one, so we want to crack on. I'm from the UK. I run online ownership, specializes in local SEO, primarily in the hospitality industry, but of course we dive into everything. And I'm a Google My Business top contributor.
Nice, cool. All right, so everybody kind of showed up today to learn a little bit about local guides, and basically this is going to be a roundtable discussion. What I'd like to do is, in the beginning, share a slide presentation that I've put together, and let me go ahead and start that screen share. Just give me a quick second on that one.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and then Anton, let me know if you can see that presentation.
I'm not sure it's in a full screen mode. Can you move? Well, can you move slides?
All right, there we go.
Yeah, that's fine. It's second slide, so you can come back to the first and go on. It's all yours.
Sure, perfect. All right. So what I have here is, on the left-hand side, I love to actually show examples of my findings. Something I've been doing lately is what Karen had mentioned, which is Google Local Guides. I've been a marketer for quite some time, since 1998, and before that, so I first started out with Google, but in 1998. But previously, other search engines that we've all known, if we have the history back to that time. But what you can see here is Starbucks. What I've highlighted is kind of in red. My biggest thing is, when you look at a local business, it's missing some map data. So when I pull it up on a cell phone, what I'm looking for is a picture of the image, maybe where it might be, location. But I've also mapped out the opportunity for a photo. If you notice here, so that's what I was mentioning. But then here's this little piece that says claim this business. That's something we're going to be talking a lot about today. So let's kind of get into my first message is really focused on the Chamber of Commerce's worldwide. And what I'm after, based off the 1,200 businesses I've mapped, as well as worked on 400 to 500 other companies with map edits, changing things like adding a website or a business of our operations. What I want them to do is really something super simple. You know, when you're in your next Chamber of Commerce meeting, what I want you to do is, before you start the meeting, just actually have all the business owners in the room open their cell phone and do a quick Google search. But the search that I want you to have them do is ask for their own business. And what I wanted them to see on their phone is, if there's this little badge, this is claim this business, that's where the key comes in. There's a high percentage of businesses that I've mapped in a 11-mile radius. So I've now done 1,200 companies, and that's just one image at a time. So now I've actually walked every Saturday and Sunday. What I like to do is go mapping. So Google Local Guides mapping. And what I'm studying is a shopping center, for example. And that shopping center has plenty of businesses in there, normally a grocery store, and then you've got other things like a cleaner or a coffee shop next to it. But all those areas, those are all businesses, and everybody's looking for them on mobile, as well as desktop. So, but my primary focus is the mobile, because I'm going to get an accurate area piece when I type that in, because the GPS is going to follow me, right? It knows my coordinates. It knows, hey, I'm asking for coffee. Well, it gives me 3 or 4 different options for coffee in that moment. But going back to this, let's take control of your Google Map, right? Businesses are, again, 60 to 70% of all 1,200 companies that I've actually worked with in this small radius. And again, I'm still working on my study, so the documentation will come out shortly. But from what I'm finding is about 60, 70% do not even have a claimed verified listing. Now, that could be 2 things. They've had a listing for years, and they just didn't care for the opportunity for it. You normally see that in big brands. But a small business like a mom-and-pop coffee shop or a shoe company, you still need to actually have a claim listing for certain reasons we'll get into as well. But going back to the claim business listing, what if I got a review and it wasn't claimed? You can't respond to those queries. So again, if I had a bad review, I can't respond because I still haven't claimed the listing. And it's as simple as doing a postcard. So once these guys go through in the Chamber of Commerce and they type their business name on their phone, they're going to follow some simple instructions. And those simple instructions are already built into Google. And they'll follow, once they hit that button, it goes through the process, right? And the next thing they're going to have is a verification opportunity. And most of the time, it's going to be through a postcard. So it comes in about a week to 2 weeks prior. And then you'll get a confirmation number. And they put that into their account, and it's verified. Now you have full control. You can add your own pictures. You can do a lot of stuff. So let's kind of move past this slide real quick. Let's show an example. All right, so in this, here's basically, now I was just talking about Chamber of Commerce's, right? So here's the Chamber of Commerce for Overland Park, where I'm at, Kansas. And you can see that claim this business is there as well. So the lack of education is in that area. What I'm trying to do is actually share what I found to the Chamber of Commerce, and hopefully by communicating to the president of the Overland Park Chamber of Commerce, they will actually go through the process of clicking that little button and go through and verify the Chamber of Commerce. So let's take a different listing. Here's the Lee Summit Chamber of Commerce, right? So it's completely different. If we go back on that slide, at least Overland Park had a couple pictures. They have 2 pictures in there, so at least the actual address is showing there. Now that's actually from the Google Streetcar. So Street View normally will actually drive by and it looks for the address itself, and that's normally replaced on the listing from what I've been finding, until somebody like myself as a local guide walks by and actually takes a picture. And so my study, going back to that whole concept of, if I walk by the Chamber of Commerce, which I did, but not the Overland Park. I haven't walked by that one just yet. But if I was to, I would upload a picture by just going down a little bit further on this same page to add a picture. So let's go to the next slide again. But here's the Lee Summit Chamber. Now they don't have a picture, right? They have still claim my business, right? But here's the other area. So basically it says add a photo. And that's where Google Local Guides has really kind of come in for me, is being able to add that, that photo. As I walk by that business, I'll go back into a process of optimizing the image, making sure it's the best quality. If I, as a marketer, you know, I would only upload a picture if I felt it was quality, and I would accept that from a professional photographer. Now, not everybody's perfect like that, but you know, when I'm shooting with a Nexus phone, I seem to get the best pictures out of that. So let's go to the next slide here and see what else we've got. So with all that information, there's a way to quickly get verified. And I've added the shortened URL here because it is kind of a long URL, but it'll get you to the same place. You can also do a Google search for Google My Business, get verified, and get the same information. So once you have that information, it just basically walks down through the page of answering those quick questions that a business owner would actually need to get verified and follow the simple process. So again, Google's giving us all this information and helping us as a business owner, because a lot of business owners, I hate to pick on anybody, but they're just not the computer savvy kind, and they rely on the marketer, which is fine, but sometimes the marketer doesn't have the information even from a conference. So apologize for the background sounds. All my kids are finally leaving out of the house. So we're good there. Apologize for the sounds in the background. But let's go to the next slide here. So let's do a test. So here's where I was talking about how many companies that I've mapped, right? And so what I've done is I've actually used, instead of save this business listing for later, like I like it, what I've used, because I'm hoping the star in the dashboard turns out to be, hey, this is not a claimed business. Because the stars in this case, if you can see, I don't know if you can see those stars all over the place, but again, this is only that small radius that I've been mapping. And what I've done is when I've actually found that little listing, claim this business, I've just put a star by it. And so that's why I kind of go back to, I wish the dashboard would actually give me things like, hey, this is not a claimed business, and here's the star ones that I really like. That way the artificial intelligence learning can actually detect that I don't necessarily like that store or restaurant. I just started because they're just not claimed. So let's move on. Let's take an experiment. So one experiment, this happened to me last weekend. I actually had dropped off my nephew at the airport, right? So this is why we're looking at an airport. But if we start to look at the experiment, let's find a restaurant. How often do we go to an airport? We're traveling as marketers all the time. And when we're actually in the actual transition of the either before the trip or on a plane and you're kind of in between places, you might want to know where a restaurant is or a coffee shop or, you know, bathrooms might be. But here's the situation for just a restaurant. Here's one of the top restaurants in the KCI airport, right? So again, no picture, one review, right? Claim my business, hours, or add a phone number, so they don't even have their phone number added here for that restaurant. So if I was to try to call ahead and say I've got 5 people that I want to book reservations, so we have a table when we land, and then when we actually have to depart again, we'll have perfect timing. No, but hours of operation, are they closed at a certain time? Not all restaurants are open in the airport 24 hours. So let's take another example though. Here's Starbucks. Everybody likes coffee, right? So I was just mapping, again, I went through and I took a picture of the Starbucks when I was in there with my nephew. And as a local guide, it's just habit. It's like, okay, cool, I wonder if these guys actually have a picture up there on their Google Map listing. In their case, no, they had a duplicate listing, which will, one of my blog posts actually had explained. But again, no hours, no photos. They are claimed, so that's a good sign. Let's go again a little bit further. Let's find a beer. I mean, how many often, raise their hands, how many beers do you guys, I'm sorry, wrong topic. But here, basically it's a restaurant that has a bar. They've got a great photo. They've got 16 reviews, right? So, but what else are they missing? They have not claimed the restaurant, right? They haven't claimed their business. It's a simple postcard, guys. All they've got to do is go through the steps, get the postcard, put the number in, and they're done. Now they have full control to add their phone number, their website address. Instead of me actually, as a end user on the cell phone, trying to find something on my cell phone when I'm very limited on time, let Google actually, Google can't figure all this information out all the time. So add that as a, and that goes back to Google My Business. That dashboard is super important for every business. So let's take a different example though. Let's do a rental car, right? How often do you get to the airport, you're like, I need a rental, or you booked the rental car before, but you can't find the address because it drives you up bonkers because you're like, oh my gosh, it's got to be right around the corner, right? This right here is this is the airport rental company. So there's only a couple rental car companies next to the airport. Everybody else is a distance. But still, enterprise rental car is zero picture. They have not claimed their listing, but they have a 3.2 and 8 reviews. So again, going back to the reviews, if you own a business or you're a marketer for a business, how do we resolve this issue? Click the button, follow the steps, and you're good to go. Oh, yeah, let's try an airline. So it doesn't matter if you're a small company, you could be a big brand. So this one, I hate to use big names, but I did use Starbucks. So Alaska, sorry. They have not claimed their business inside. So when I do a search, I zoom in, I want to find a local number to call, or in their case, they want to have an 800 number, which I added all this information. So add phone number, I've added that. Alaska Airlines, they have a picture now, because I took a picture when I was in the airport. Now I've got to go back to the airport and take all the other pictures so that everybody else has equal exposure. So this was what it looked like before. So this was American Airlines, not Alaska. So they had no picture before. Here's a different airline company, right? Big brand. Marketers should have actually seen this. Claim my business. I mean, American Airlines has got a website, right? But it's not shown in the map. So I think the marketers for at least American Airlines can do something with that. Let's just take Delta, right? So Delta, same airport, guys, not venturing into like San Francisco or any other New York, but all done in KCI or MCI. So when you start doing a Google, you guys can type in right now if you guys wanted to do a Google search for MCI Airport, which is Kansas City, you'll actually go and zoom in on those locations. You'll see that everybody is a mess in there. So again, claim this business, add a photo, so Delta could easily take control of that one. Here's Frontier, right? All this in one airport. I know it's a crazy thing when you're a Google local guide, you find everything because I don't leave one stone unturned. So basically getting your business online. How does that happen, right? And then this is where I think I'm going to need help because I'm still learning about this program. And Eric, aren't you basically part of that program? I think.
Getting a phone call from a client, but I won't take that message. And I'm trying to see if I can mute that. There we go. Okay. Sorry about that.
Oh, you're fine.
Google, Tim Capper is also one of the TC. He's one of the TCs in the Google My Business, so he can have some added insights as well. But this is the Get Your Business Online situation, which is basically for marketers to help the small businesses get started with their actual profiles or their map profiles. So it's a very beneficial program, and getting you started, at least the first steps of marketing for your individual brand name, or actually keyword terms from a local SEO side. So getting your business online through Google My Business is pretty much the first step of being able to have some successful listings and successful information. And Tim, I think you can follow up on that a little bit too.
Yeah, the GYBO is only available to US businesses, but a great start for businesses if they wanted to get in touch with any local marketers to give them a hand. Unfortunately, only for the US. I started one for my own location myself, a kind of version in my own area. but yeah, the Google My Business interface is very, very friendly for any business Just find that is this your business, or claim your business button, and follow through the steps. There's if you get stuck at any point, there's always the Google help forums. There's all the articles. There's instructional videos. So, but it really is worth your time taking those 5 minutes to claim your business. It's your business. Brand it, make it yours. You wouldn't leave your business card or your shop window unbranded. So why leave your actual sort of your face on your page on Google unbranded and unowned?
Absolutely, yeah. You're breaking up just a tad bit, but we got most of that. A great job, Tim. Great information, Eric, as well.
One more quick thing, just from that screen, you want to click on the far, I guess it'd be the far right side where it's check my business. So you would basically put your business address in there and see what's already coming up. And that will go back into that claim. If you have been claimed, you're not claimed, you may have more than one listing. It really helps you to just get kind of started in the process. So that's all I wanted to add.
No, good point, because there's multiple ways to find this. I was showing and displaying through Google My Business. Now you might actually just type in on Google search, the name of your business, and you'll find that same map card on the right-hand panel. So again, all sorts of different ways to get to this, and I think with to add to Eric's point, there's a lot of resources for businesses just on that website. And I believe if you look at the link here, it's just www.gybo.com, and it automatically finds your location, so don't worry about that. And there's local groups that you can participate in that they come to your area. They actually have things going on there.
Hey, William?
Yeah. Oops. I accidentally muted you. I'm sorry. Go for it. I didn't. Unmute.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Okay. What I was going to say was the other great thing about GYBO is that Google actually will give you access to build your own website, right? I mean, I know we have a panel of folks that can do that, but even for the smallest of small businesses, there's really no excuse not to not be online anymore, because Google actually gives you the tools to even actually do that for you.
Yes.
Right. I'll add to that. The GYBO program is actually a portal designed by Google to streamline for small business. So if we just sent you to the Claim Your Business form, you're going to end up on a help file, and that might confuse you. But the GYBO program walks you through, like, hey, you're missing pictures, and this is how to do it. And it keeps it at a basic elementary level, which any person can get in and understand. So the GYBO program is really for the front lines, the business owner that wants to take that control, search for his business, his or her business, and then start that process. So, just there is a little bit of separation, but it's great because it gives you those free tools, website builder, access to PDF, help files, everything you want to educate yourself before you even do business with an agency that can take you to the next level.
Yeah.
Good point, yeah. I have one slide left to do, and then this is where I think that we start really talking about local guides. So here's, if you can still see my screen, it's a Google Street View selfie, right? So if you look very closely in the left-hand corner here, you'll see the car. Kind of ironic. I found this one actually on one of the business listings I took a picture of. So if we look at the Deer Creek Animal Hospital, they actually had that listed on their homepage image for Google Maps. So again, Google Streetcar only did one thing. It was cool. It captured the address and everything else. But that's where kind of I look at it as the local guides come into play. We actually have taken we take pride in our pictures, right? So my picture, I'm only shooting from a Nexus 6, so I don't have the Nexus 6P, but that's okay. My quality of my pictures, and I'm not taking pictures with an XLR camera either. But what I'm after is a nice, clean picture But from the cell phone, I get a GPS location. And that's another, I think, great marker that basically shows that I was there in front of that business. Now, if you start looking at the way the map follows you, when you allow Google Maps, the map application, to follow you to different locations as you're driving to one place or the other, now at the same time it knows you only went to that front of the building, but it knows that you didn't go inside the building. Now, that's another part of the Google Local program or Local Guide program I like, because if I visit the company, I'm either going to the restaurant, I'm admiring what other food they're actually serving, or I caught the attention by other ways of somebody saying, hey, you've got to go here. And so you finally end up going to that restaurant. But when you get in that restaurant, you're going, wow, this was fantastic. I've got to take pictures of this. Well, with your cell phone, you can. And everybody does food selfies. So it doesn't it's not something that's kind of an oddball thing. But I like to actually take pictures of the food. And I'll also review it. Review the restaurant at the same time as my experience. And not thinking, I'm not charging anything. I'm just taking pictures of things. And that's where Google Local Guides for me is an opportunity for everybody. If you've actually given a review, you're part of the program, already, or you've taken pictures of your food. You may have actually been part of that program a long time ago, but it's now become, I learned about it, Karen, I think back in October. And that's, when I was asking you about this badge you got, I was like, what is that? Is that part of the TC program? And so maybe you can elaborate on that for me.
Actually, what I was going to say was that the power of the photos that you take, anyone can take a photo wherever you are, going into a business, a place, getting a haircut, going to a restaurant. It's amazing how just taking a simple photo can mean so much for a business. For example, for me as a local guide, I take photos about businesses about my everyday life. So it's not necessarily going to tourist destinations. It's basically just going to the gas station or going to Macy's or going to the supermarket. And some of my photos alone, I'm getting between 200 and 400,000 views per photo. And I'm not even using a fancy phone that you are. I'm just using a plain old iPhone. You see, and so the power of that to me for businesses that may or may not even be seen on Google is amazing, because your photos, unlike Yelp reviews or TripAdvisor reviews, your photo is linked to Google Maps forever, unless the business obviously takes it away. But pretty much your photo and your review is there. Sure. And so it helps your community. It helps folks to who may be interested in that particular business to go there, and maybe that your review will make that impact. For me personally, I look at reviews all the time before I even go to a place now. And if the reviews are, at least 3 stars, at least I know it's decent. And if it's beyond that, 4 stars, 5 stars, you could definitely, want to partake and see what's all about, especially with, like you said, all the food photos. Everyone likes to take pictures of food.
Well, and speaking of restaurant and food photos, when you go back to the reviews, you're looking for certain things. Did they make you sick the next day? Did they add allergies, food allergies? Did they have problems there? There's so many things you can see in reviews, and I think giving a good quality review is important. It goes back to the whole, I'm going to go to my phone, I'm going to ask for pizza in my area, and I'm going to get a list that comes back to me on my phone that says, here are the pizza places that are in your area, and here are the reviews.
And the power of the reviews too is that for restaurants or businesses in general, if you don't have more than 5 reviews, your reviews don't show up. So it's really important for businesses to get reviews so that the reviews will show up, next to that lovely image that you mentioned in terms of claiming your business. Yeah. And so that then when you're actually doing a Google search, whether on a desktop or mobile, the reviews of all those folks will show up underneath the the website and directions and all that stuff that you see in the knowledge panel.
Absolutely.
Hey, I wanted to quickly just touch on the photos, just so you know, you get emails from the Local Guide program all the time. I get one about 20 days ago. So right now it's showing me 350,000 views. Your photos are a big hit. Your photos have helped over 350,000 people. So that's Google telling me that all the places that I've uploaded images to, those images help someone find that business. The benefit was I helped someone get somewhere. So just that alone is the gratification that, hey, this is making a big improvement on other people's lives, which ultimately will come back and affect yours one day.
I mean, it's the whole idea of, you know, with Google, it's basically building that community. It's about knowledge, and it's about exchanging of ideas. That's what Google's, you know, bread and butter, their mission statement is all about. And that's why I think for local guides, whether you're knowing it or not knowing that you're doing it, if you write a review on Google Maps, you're a local guide.
Absolutely, and it goes back to like what Spencer was saying too. Is you're helping. I look at it as I'm fixing one map listing at a time, and that's what I'm doing. I'll go through and I'll take an entire pictures of all the entire businesses in that shopping mall per se. And they might have the best picture up there, so I won't add my picture, but at least I'm checking their listing to make sure they have all the things like. They claim their business, or do they add a telephone number? Do they have a website? And most of those, when I'm cross-referencing to find it, I'm doing a simple Google search, right? I'm taking that either the address or I'm taking their business name, and I'm looking for them. Most of the time, I seem to find all the information from either Yelp or from Facebook, you know, because most of those are already filled in, but they're forgetting about other engines out there, and that even takes us to the next thing. It's not just Google; it's Bing. You know, we forget about the other player in search engines. They also have a map listing. So, you know, when you start to look at, okay, I own a business or I'm a marketer for a business, how can I then expand a little bit further? You can even go into Apple, right? Apple Maps. You know, that's completely different. Everybody that's using iPhone might choose that are just going to do not Google Maps and choose the actual Apple Maps. So having your business also available on there. You know, each engine is going to have its own, you know, photo galleries and its way of actually uploading. So the process might be technically different a little bit, but still, the overall awareness for the business helps out. And having those like with the selfie image I was showing, you know, Google Streetcar only can go so far. You know, it drives by a business, it takes a picture of it. It's not the highest resolution most of the time when you see it on there, but what happens when a local guide stops by? That changes the whole perspective and now drives the awareness to the business owner saying, well, that's a gorgeous picture. How did that get there? And who is this person? And at the same time, if they can add that picture, can I? And I think that's kind of also lacking in the knowledge of business owners. They don't know they have that control, and it's all for free. So I'd like to open it up as roundtable. So if everybody wants, you know, let's do one at a time. But I think to add to this discussion, let's actually open up and hear a little bit different than just me.
Yeah, there were a couple of questions that came through. Or one, Marilyn Ritter was commenting on Karen, stating that she always checks reviews. I think we're all behind that. The last 20 things I purchased were based on a review or some deep reviews. Daniel D. talks about writing reviews with quality. Don't just you know, use something generic all the time. When you add value to a review, it not only helps, but it brings a human element to the review, and that is something that users look for. So just wanted to put those out there. Thanks for the questions. Keep them coming.
Good. That's great. Some of the questions that I've heard frequently, and I'm sure, you know, there's probably popping up in the line now, have to do with the advantages of claiming and verifying. You know, so I think William did a great job of explaining some of the, you know, reasons why you would do it, and we've talked a bit about how you can do it. But you know, just some of the issues have to do with some kind of nasty competitive practices, and you know, you've probably seen this yourselves if you're out talking to business people. And they're like, yeah, let me show you my Google My Business listing, or let me show you, you know, my map thing, and it has their competitor's phone number on it. I see people laughing, right? You've seen this, and it's a horror story that somebody wasn't able to figure out that they could own that was theirs. Google was giving them that for free for the claiming, and they just never got there. So all of their calls from that listing we're going to the pizza shop down the street. That's just one thing, and I think we've got some other people in here with some other stories as well. So.
Sure, and I'll just go really quickly. So whenever we get started with a client with social media, usually we're going to get started on the Google Plus page, which means that we also need to look at their Google My Business listing and how they're represented on maps. And so just a really quick short story about what happens when you don't claim your business. A pretty decent hotel out of Mexico, a very high tourist destination, came to us, and we looked at their knowledge graph, and basically we found out that the address itself and it showed in the knowledge graph, was off by quite a little bit of information. When we double-checked all that information against, say, Travelocity and Booking.com, we noticed that the booking engines were just basically not connected to the knowledge graph whatsoever, even though they had excellent 5-star reviews all over the place. So Google was basically showing, yes, book at this location, but there was nothing basically connected to it. More importantly, they also had reviews. They had a couple bad reviews, and they had quite a few good reviews, but they couldn't obviously respond to any of those. So they were missing out on all of these different opportunities, just like you were just talking about, Michael. And the process of claiming the listing was actually a very easy process. For this one, they had to wait 14 days because, well, they're in Mexico, so getting mail there is a little bit difficult, especially in Cancun. But the moral of the story at the end of the day is they did get control. They were able to update all of their photos. The address was able to line up with all the NAP information, name, address, phone number, on Travelocity and Booking.com. They were able to now accept booking online through the knowledge graph, which increased their sales by about 50% as soon as it happened. Sales went through the roof. So help your customers. Help yourselves.
Well, I'd like to jump in and kind of say 3 things that I noticed just recently, I suppose. One of them is general, that Google or other places, your online presence or listings are the same as doing this so offline. So you have a storefront or a service that you manage, and you care about their reputation, your reputation offline. Whether you want it or not, your offline presence and reputation is online as well. So that's number 1. 2 is don't put all your eggs in one basket. The question I like to ask clients is, if Google was not there, what would you do to get clients? Do some of that and then some more. But on top of your Google. Google is just another listing for businesses. That matters a lot, but it's critical to keep a more broad view on your marketing. And then the third one, just recently, the guidelines that Google posted, one thing that caught my eye was replying to reviews, and something that I've talked to support with about lately. I feel like it does make a difference, replying to your reviews, since you guys mentioned a few of that. It kind of feels to me like Google is looking at that as a signal, as you would do offline with your clients. You would address their issue. They kind of look at that the same way online. Have you took time to address their issue? So that might be something, but that's all like broad and not focused. If you have any questions that I could address in particular, that could work better, Max, I suppose.
Max, what do you think about NAP listings? How important is that today?
Say again?
NAP, the NAP listing. Yeah.
Just the information. I think it's slowly decaying in terms of the value. Like the whole, you must have your address, phone number, and name super consistent, 100%, or you're not gonna show up. I think that's past us. We're, there's still marketers that advertise this as a thing, but as machine learning is getting better, there's definitely the fact that Google understands the information way better, and they don't need to see a few inconsistencies online in order to show you a red flag for your business and not rank you. That said, I look at business listings in general as an opportunity for businesses to showcase their business elsewhere, just across the web. Make sure that that listing is a place for conversion, to make, take care of your reputation on other places, not just Google, and just in general, have visuals, have whatever your resources allow you to have on those listings to have a solid presence online.
Yeah, I mean, somebody can use great points, and the other thing somebody can do is just go and type in their address, right? Or even what I've been finding is type in your old address and your addresses prior to that, because those might still be listed up there too. I think all of that signal confuses everything. It doesn't matter if it's Google or Apple Maps or other things. The signal, so just kind of even take your telephone number, right? So if you had an old telephone number from an old office that you had, could you just type that in and say, oh wow, I think Moz Local does a pretty good job of finding that really quickly. But anyhow, I want to take it over to Tim too. Thanks, Max. I appreciate that, because that's exactly what I was looking for. Tim, we got about 14 minutes left to go, but I want to kind of hear what we see kind of a big problem in the forums. We get a lot of questions in the forums daily, and I'm thinking, can we actually help answer some of those questions with this hangout? And
which one? There was like about 20 posts.
Okay.
So
take your tops.
So I'll take the one that I can just see quick straight off. Reporting a duplicate. I totally agree with Max in the sense that citations and people going crazy with, oh, I've got to build 500. I suppose also because a lot of my clients I deal with are in countries that don't even have directories really yet, or building. So we tend to look at maybe the top 50 that would actually generate a bit of traffic. So you always get in the back of your mind, think about traffic, and yes, be consistent. But the biggest killer in terms of a map and your positioning is duplications in different variations. The biggest thing I see in the hotel industry is you'll get a visitor coming from language who then goes into maps and adds the hotel again in another language using a different address with a slightly different pin marker. And yeah, when I take on a client, I could be dealing with 4 or 5 duplicate listings in various guises and in different places. So the crucial thing that obviously a business needs to do is identify which one is your one and your verified one. So if you haven't claimed it, claim of the best possible one out there, the one that's got the greatest reviews, that's in sort of the right location. You can always tidy that up, but obviously identify the one you want to verify, claim it, make it yours. The next instance now is, because you've claimed it and verified it, you've got access to business support. In your dashboard, you can scroll down on the hamburger menu on the top left, and you can click through to support straight away, or you can come onto the forum. Easiest thing to do is note down the URLs of those other duplicating pages that exist, or the map listings that exist, and then file your report with business support. So you'll state, this is my verified one, and these are the duplicated ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. What they essentially do is they will mark those as moved, essentially it can think of it as a redirect. It'll essentially redirect a user that or that old URL into the new verified page, and you essentially consolidate everything and all that data into one correct business listing. It's certainly one thing that you should really concentrate on. You definitely don't want a duplicate business hanging about. Not only for your users, because that could confuse the heck out of them, and you end up getting a review with someone saying you weren't open at the time you were, or you weren't at the phone number. But it's essentially for your users and consolidating your business branding.
And there was a quick question, Tim, on holiday hours. That's the cool part about having your business listed, so you can actually go in and change that.
Yeah. Initially, when that was rolled out, you had to use the bulk verification section, but now they've made it part of the actual GMB page. So once you've claimed your business in your GMB dashboard, you actually get your normal set of hours, and below that they provide they're called special hours. Special hours you can set these special hours. So let's say you've got Christmas trading, where you're open a bit later on the run up to Christmas, or summer, maybe kids' summer holidays that you open a bit longer, or open, or you close. In winter you might close an hour earlier than your regular hours, or let's say you even just have an emergency coming up next week and you've got to close the shop. You can set them up for up to a 3-month consecutive time period. And then obviously you would either need to delete the 1 month that's passed and then create for the but you can have 3 months consecutively running. Whether they will increase that in time, not entirely sure, but you never know.
Yeah, that's great.
Fantastic. Yep. Mike, go for it.
Yeah, so that's all great information, and the idea that you can set your hours up is so key, because like most of the searching that we're talking about here, Google's announcement about over 50% of queries taking place on mobile. The information about hours shows very, very prominently in any map lookup and in search lookups when it comes to your snack pack listings, your 3-pack. So all of these things there are things that I'm imagining you as local guides are demonstrating to business owners when you're talking about it. The ideas that you've brought up, Max bringing up that you're using this vehicle to describe or have others actually genuinely describe the reputation of your business that occurs in the real world, but you're making it evident to people online. That's an important thing for people. The ideas about some of the horror stories about Shanghai phone numbers, or multiple listings, or people who do nefarious things, do multiple listings as a spam tactic, or use place names in their business name and stuff. The idea that these things can be reported, and maybe acted on by Google is something I think a lot of people don't consider. So as you come into proximity to businesses and you're helping them, you can really help them, against some of the practices that Google would frown on. Just, good for guides, good for doing what you're doing, and the fact that you can do this in the environs of a great restaurant or something along the way. I mean, that's a great thing to do. So I'm hoping, and maybe somebody can give me a clue about this, what it's like for you as a marketer. Sure, you're helping local businesses out and you're being a genuine consumer, and that's all great, and keeping reviews real, which is very valuable to the community as a whole. How is this helping your business as a marketer? Do you find this to be a lead source for ongoing contracts and such? And maybe it's a little delicate to answer this. I'd love to hear from somebody.
Well, I'll jump in there real quick, Mike. I think for me, it's more of education. But I'm always a perfectionist on my pictures too. So, like for example, today or last night, I got a new pair of shoes, right? Consumer. But I would have not actually found that shoe store if I wasn't taking a picture. You know, I took a great picture of the corner of their building. Their sign looked gorgeous. I'm like, okay, the blue sky with clouds in the back. It was like the perfect shot. You can't get that as if you hired a photographer. You don't know what the day, the sun looks like, or, you know, some weekends I won't take a picture. But at the same time, as it goes back to, I wanted to understand one thing, and that was how many businesses are not claimed. That wasn't for me. Now, it could be completely different for others. I'll let everybody else answer that. But for me, it's an experiment, and it's an addiction of taking good quality pictures. I've taken pictures all my life. Now I have a place to put them.
Hey, Ben, why don't you go ahead?
Yeah, so Omni had a quick question about what a shop code was, and so I'll answer that, and then I wanted to get answer what Michael was talking about there as well. So Omni, basically the shop code, that's just a designation. Actually, it's more for you than it is for Google. It's something for you to be able to sort through your listings very easily, especially if you're working with like a franchise or for a larger company that has more than 10 locations. So it's just an internal designator. So, but in answer to what Michael was asking is why as an agency would I want to be involved in the local guide program in the first place? Basically, the way I look at it is you're able to sell your services by providing value first. At the end of the day, you're helping a business, you're helping other people in your local community at the same time get the right kind of information, but you're also expressing yourself as an expert in what you're doing. And so if somebody has that need for what you do, it's very natural for them to just ask and say, oh, well, thank you for helping me out with that. Great, you updated my hours, my phone number, you took a photo. What do you do anyway? Do you work for Google? Of course, you're going to say, no, I don't work for Google, but I do work with Google's networks and systems. So, so as an agency or as a marketer, get involved in the local guide program, help businesses out. And what you're going to find out is karmically, almost, you're going to gain business out of it. And more importantly, I think you're going to gain the right kind of business out of it. Yeah.
I'll add in there that I just wanted to throw in that local guides, you're making a difference for your communities and local search as a whole. Get Your Business Online is helping the small businesses, which is basically an advocate. And then Google My Business is gaining full control. But keep in mind, the most important element to all of this is you, the end user, finding what you want to do and how you can make a difference, whether it's the guide program, Get Your Business Online. All of them tie back in. So I just wanted to throw that. Be a guide, be an advocate, or just help someone reach their full potential. That's what these programs are most importantly about, but it starts with us, you.
Okay, I wanted to tie something back in that brings it all home. In the initial slide presentation that William Rock did, which was excellent, it was a big point of why claim. Why should we claim our listings? The reasons we should claim our listings is it helps us control our data. We can update our data. We can reply to reviews. We can check stats in our data. We can sync our data with other Google platforms. And we can give a good customer experience by having good data. One other tip, just real quickly, is when you guys are claiming your profiles, make sure that you're using a Google account that is already associated with some of your other Google platforms, such as Analytics, AdWords, YouTube, Webmaster Tools, Google My Business, whatever. Try and make sure, and try not to have a personal account that's commingled into your business account. So try to keep those separate. Do yourself a favor, potentially make one Gmail account for your business and use that to sync all the other Google platforms together. Thank you. Back to you.
Guys, rockstar. I can't say enough thank yous for all of you guys for attending today and bringing the knowledge like I knew you guys would. So with that, Anton, I think we're going to close out the show and go to the green room.
Yeah.
You guys have announcements?
If anyone wants to say anything, go on. Otherwise, we'll be here for 1 hour. Echo. Okay. No echo. Okay. William.
If I can just jump in, Anton, if you don't mind, just to say that I appreciate the fact that many represented here are in the U.S., But I was astonished when I looked up how many countries worldwide have a Google Local Guide program. I mean, the list just goes on and on. I'm sorry to say I couldn't find evidence that it was available in the Ukraine, but Russia, you know, Australia, all the English-speaking countries, as well as like all of Western Europe and South America and Central, it was everywhere. So Anton, thanks for letting us speak to really an international community because it's a worldwide phenomenon. Thanks.
Well, it seems very, very American phenomenon because several times people refer this particular stuff only exists in the United States. But maybe we'll do another one. I don't know if maybe one of you would like to join. We'll bring some people from. Okay, we already have one European here. Yeah, one European here, or kind of European. Put it this way, and. Britain is not in Europe anymore, and maybe some more Europeans, Indians, I don't know, Australians. We'll see how it goes. Okay, thank you very much for everyone for who been here. Now I'll go from left to right. Usually on my screen. I don't know how your screen looks like. So I have Ben Fisher here. Thank you, Ben, for coming. It was a pleasure to have you here today. I'll go quick because it's so many great panelists here. Eric, okay, nice to meet you, Eric, and thank you for coming. And it was a pleasure. Karen, thank you very much for coming. We haven't seen your babies. They were actually integral part of our. Yeah, great. Yeah, they were part of our today hangouts. Thank you very much for coming, Max. Thank you for coming, Max. It was a pleasure. Michael, always a pleasure to have you with us. Thank you, Spencer. Thank you, Tim. Pleasure. And thank you, our host, William Rock, SEO consulting from Kansas. Thank you very much, guys. And thank you, everyone who were watching us tonight or the morning. I guess it's still morning in California, isn't it? And it's almost 11 p.m. here where I am, and maybe somebody is watching from India. Who knows? Thank you very much. We're going off air, so if you want to do something, hi mom, I'm on the telly. You can